pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roll, Atlantic.
Water tower supply!
Body outside, speed off. Speed off.
Yikes. You bet. Okay. We don't need any more of these.
Well, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you may be. We're back again at Boca Chica, would you believe? A very foggy scene. It's not Manchester, it is Boca Chica, South Texas. We're hoping, after all the aborts of yesterday, we're going to start to see this SN9 fire up a 3 Raptors again, but this time the new 3 Raptor set, and that will give the clearance for a launch, which will be now early next week. So, we're hoping, with this tank farm activity coming up, that we're going to hopefully see a static fire test within about an hour's time, and then we can all say, well done SN9, you've got through all your troubles, we can now look forward to you hopping. So hopefully that will happen, but first and foremost, let's say thanks to Mary, because Mary's been out there all the time, and she's got all our views and all our daily views and all the goings on at Boca Chica. Without her, we wouldn't be doing this. We're also going to say hello to Jack, because Jack's with us, and he's there as well. So we're going to say hello to Jack.
Hey, what's up? Hopefully I'm not a robot. But yeah, you're not, like you said, it's not Manchester. It's also not Vandenberg Air Force Base. It's Boca Chica, just a lot of fog.
We've also got Michael in the background. Say hello, Michael.
How's it going, everyone? And hopefully this fog will clear a bit, because we can see the bottom of Starship at least. That's the important end for today's test. But that nose cone is up in the clouds and unable to be seen from any of our camera angles right now.
Could claim Starship's so tall that's why we can't see it top, but no, it really is foggy. We can also see SN7.2, the test tank next door, and that arrived yesterday. And we've also got Hopper on the left-hand side. So it's actually a visual cues of where things are with the tank farm in the middle. And hopefully we'll start seeing a smooth countdown and no more aborts. We've had enough for aborts now. They've had enough from yesterday, so hopefully they'll go through. But we're going to take lots of your questions throughout this stream, so by all means, at NASASpaceflight, and then your question. We will read all the questions out we can. It doesn't have to be a super chat or anything like that, where some streams only read out super chats. We'll read out every question we can do, and we'll go from there. But yeah, it's a very foggy scene. It was extremely foggy earlier, so luckily this wasn't a start of the window static fire attempt. But the fog has started rolling back in, and it's not like a usual fog which burns off. This is from the Gulf, so this is really a unique kind of view. We're normally used to seeing lots of sunshine and hot weather conditions. I know it is winter, but even in winter in Boca Chica, it's not what I would personally class as cold, but obviously it's colder for the locals who are used to the summer months out there. But this foggy scene, this is quite rare for what I've seen. I don't think we've ever done a stream that has been covered in fog like this, at least for an actual testing event. So this will be unique, and we'll see how we do. But as Michael said, we can see the aft of SN9. That's all we need to keep an eye on during this static fire attempt. So let's have a look at our questions and see if we've got any that's coming straight away. First of all, we're going to thank some people. We've got new members. We've got Dave S, who's a new member. I'm going to put you up on screen there and say thank you to you. And also James Thompson, who's coming as a new member. And that, Dave S came in as Capcom, and James Thompson came in Red Team. So that is very much appreciated. Say we just started. So you're showing appreciation for a stream. We've not really just done about 5 minutes of worth yet. So well done. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And with the questions, yeah, this is a static fire attempt. What we've got is we know these tests from the letters Mary gets, which give the local residents notifications of what to expect. If it was like a WR or something like that, they wouldn't get the notice saying there's a 10-minute siren. The 10-minute siren we usually hear is the rough guesstimate of how long it is to go before the static fire attempt. And that is just a precaution, because in an event of an overpressure event where the vehicle goes wrong, it could crack windows, and it would be dangerous if you stood next to a window. So it tells you to stay away from the windows or stay away from indoors. And that's why they do it. Yeah. And of course, the first super chat question, the only question we've got in the queue so far is a reference to vaping. So yeah, I suppose we can allow that. That's allowable, yeah. So yeah, it really is kind of like what Starship does anyway, which is in a normal day with the actual venting we see. So that is quite a funny reference there, but it is a static fire attempt today, and hopefully And Mary just said in the background that there's a drone up, and that drone will struggle to see much unless it gets really close. But that points that they are in preparations for this static fire test. But Jack, where you are, how does it look to you? Do you get anything at all view-wise from where you are?
Nothing at all. Literally, I mean, my visibility is less than a mile. I'm looking right now. I didn't even bother to set my camera up. I know that's like, I feel like that's blasphemy, right? Like I'm here. I'm 6 miles. It's it would just
We cannot hear you, Jack.
be a white rectangle. Is anything that I would take a photo over? All right, well, I'll try and work that.
The show 4.99. Thank you very much. Super chats already. It's quite surprising actually. The question is, what opinions on what the short closure on Friday is for? Maybe 7.2. Well, 7.2 is out there. It's at the actual launch complex. If they move it somewhere else, within that pad complex, you don't need road closures. So I would presume it'd be something to do with a question related to the roadblocks for the crane, maybe the moving Bluezilla. You never know. Tankzilla, I should say. So that'd be something to look out for. We don't know really. That's the question. We know it's not SN10 moving. We understand that won't be moving to the pad while SN9's there because this dual pad situation going to deal with SN9, SN10, or SN10, SN11. That's more likely because they want to get the accuracy of landing right first before the risk putting 2 starships out of commission with a bad landing. So I reckon it'd be two with cranes. We saw a lot of activity in the crane park where they were preparing Tankzilla in some fashion for a move. So I would guess that is why the road closure's there.
Yeah.
More questions.
You know where I was
Go
going
on.
to ask though quickly, Chris. Do you have any idea where Tankzilla is going to be moved to?
No, I don't have any clue at all. Do you?
I don't either. It doesn't really make sense. They would move it to the launch pad right now, but
Well, the only thing I was thinking was the fact that when the camera was zoomed out, we saw a lot of work going on last night, didn't we? Around the tank park area.
I'm going to zoom out our robot and show you where it is. But
My guess is build site for SN10.
yeah, that's what I was going to say, Jack. I mean, previously they did not need the crane to lift Starship onto the transporter. We saw that with SN8, but after SN9 had the tip over in the high bay, I'm wondering if they are going to have a crane attached to the Starship when they jack it up onto the self-propelled modular transporters, just in case something goes wrong. They have the crane as an extra safety measure if a jack was to fail or something. But that's where the crane currently is, just to the left of our robot. And we will see where it ends up tomorrow and keep you all posted.
Got a question here from Thunderbird asking, when do you guys think SN10 will roll out? Well, the original plan was based on SN9 launching on a particular date, that SN10 was going to roll out a few days later. So I presume that will still be the plan, be it based on SN9's new launch date, which is now no earlier than Monday, I believe, with the latest flight restrictions. Is that right, Michael?
Yes. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday now have temporary flight restrictions for the...
So providing SN9 launches early next week, I would expect SN10 to basically go the next few days afterwards. Providing that the launch pad and the launch site is clear of debris if SN9's landing doesn't go to plan. So I would assume that will be SN10's rollout just days later. Excel Spiral asks, the odds of a static fire today are 3,220 to 1. Tell you what, put me down for 10. I think that's worth it. It's worth a gamble. Vex, he with a super chat here saying, here's to a good static fire this morning, or whatever it will be. I think it'll be afternoon there now. Yeah, it's 3:42 in the afternoon. So hopefully it will be sometime soon, because they've got a long window, so they've got a lot of opportunities to get in if they do have boats again. But I think we're all just hoping now they get through this and have a static fire test. John C, 4.99 super chat. Thank you very much appreciated. We've got Maybe Eyes. Hi from Saudi Arabia. Will the Starship have to do a belly flop maneuver on Mars and the Moon? And if so, will they test it and reduce gravity of both targets? Now then, The Martian landings. I know the answer to. There's been an answer to this, but I don't know if it was an official answer. But I don't think it's the same. Michael, can you help me on this? Because I think the
It's
flip
basic.
maneuver.
It's
Go on,
very
Jack.
similar. I mean, that's the reason why it's shaped and designed the way that it is, so that it can use its cross section to bleed off as much velocity as possible in the very thin Martian atmosphere before landing. Right, Michael?
Yeah. Well, say that again. Sorry, I half heard that. I didn't hear the first part.
Well, the question's
yes, it's
related
going
to
to
the
belly
belly
flap
flop
on
and the
Mars.
flip. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, I read the question now.
Moon no, Mars yes is my answer.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
They've had a video of it coming through the Martian atmosphere, and it comes down similar to how it does on Earth. So I think it would have to do the belly flop at the end.
Whereas opposed to the moon, it becomes straight down.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
So
that's
no
what was
point.
catching me out, because I was thinking it's not a standard. It's not the set way a Starship will land. They can reapproach it for things like the moon, which obviously doesn't have the atmospheric drag. So that's where it changes the dynamics of the return. So yeah, that's what I was just confirming. And my word, Robert Hobson again. Towards the anti-fog machine. Hey, Daz on it. Get Daz on it, I should think. That's $99 super chat from Robert Hobson. And he's not shy of being super chatted before, so I recognise the name. So thank you very much, Robert. That's very much appreciated. I know you from my Discord as well. Moldy
Thanks,
Phil,
Bob Hob.
speaking of people who are regulars, that's amazing, isn't it, yeah, Jack?
I'm just saying thanks, Bob Hob. That's what I call Robert Hobson. Bob Hob.
Ah, there we go. Moldy Space Industries, the Thomas Fogg Club. I think the fog puns might be coming as much as the Wen hops.
I'm surprised it's
Mo-
not the Thomas. I'm surprised it's not the Thomas Fogg crab.
Oh no! That would take it to the extreme, wouldn't it? Mr. Morgan Kale, Eileen should quit. No, I can't. You're making me say words we're not meant to say on stream, so I can't do that. I'm not going to do it. I'll get into trouble with Michael. Bill Sparks, keep on keeping on. There we go. With $5, thank you very much. I'm getting tongue twisted super chats on purpose. I'm sure I am.
Hey, Chris, I can answer some questions if you want to give your poor chops a rest there.
Yeah, go for it.
Actually, have you checked your mail today?
Did I check my mail today?
Yeah.
Emails.
Remember that really big battery that I've been talking about lugging around?
Oh yeah.
You might have something big and heavy in your mailbox.
What? My address?
Yep.
A big battery has been shipped to York, England.
Something has been shipped to you. You should probably check your mail.
All right. Well, I'll check for that. Yeah.
And to be clear, it wasn't me. It was a large group of us.
Is this on purpose? Is this some kind of like internal joke I'm just hearing live on air?
Well, you said
No,
you
we
wanted.
accidentally sent you something.
You said
Right.
you needed something to transport your horses, right?
Oh, brilliant! I've been sent a horse box. Very much appreciated. I just need the horse now.
All right, so while you check your mail, I will answer some questions.
Yeah, I live in an apartment block. It'll take me about 10 minutes to find a mailroom for a start.
I can answer questions.
Okay,
for 10
all right.
minutes.
Now I'm going. Back in 10 minutes.
All right, see you back. I'm not a robot anymore, right? I switched up my networks. I should be coming through loud and clear now.
Yep.
All right, cool. And everyone will just have to wait in suspense for whatever
Wait,
was sent
no.
to
What we could do is we could tell them what it is before Chris gets back. As long as.
But what if?
How do we know that Chris is not watching the stream?
Yeah, what if he's? We can't do it because he might be listening while he does his thing, while he goes down there.
I mean, I could kick him out of our Discord. I could deafen him on our Discord so he can't hear us, but he could still watch the stream. Huh.
No, I don't think. I think we should just leave everybody in suspense,
Okay.
including Chris.
We'll have him.
We
We'll have
shouldn't-
him announce what it is.
If you're in, if you're in our member Discord, you might know what it is. Anyways,
We cannot see
Let's see.
Starship right now. Just to be clear, it has completely vanished.
the
I
fog
can't
today.
see a tank farm. We might hear the static fire. We will hear the static fire. Actually, as a matter of fact, when it's foggy, you hear the noise even better. So static fire is going to sound awesome. I don't know if we're going to see it, though.
I'll be sure
level
to
of,
shut my mouth.
yeah, the level of, well, how will we know when to shut our mouth? I mean, we can't just not talk for 90 minutes.
Wow. Blue Sensei. Wow, Blue Sensei again was out on our super chats yesterday and with a new membership yesterday and again today. Thank you so much, Blue Sensei, with a $125 super chat saying crab, fog, when hop. We're just gonna combine all the memes into one amalgamation now. Seriously, thank you, Blue Sensei. As this test and hopefully flight campaign has stretched on and on, it is undoubtedly, we're pushing a lot of data, we're spending a lot of money. So thank you for the support. It really means a lot that you're a member and that you donate such huge amounts of money to the cause. Thank you so much. It is nothing to shake a stick at. Let's see. Patrick asking, do you think that they will only be static firing the 2 new Raptors, or do you think it will be a static fire of all 3? I have no idea. Michael, do you have any inkling as to number of Raptors?
Well, we've been seeing on the previous abort, we saw 3 of the tri-vents, and a tri-vent is caused when they are running liquid oxygen through the Raptors for the engine chill, so that implies they're planning to fire all 3 Raptors.
Cool. That makes sense.
Right, live unboxing.
Oh, he's back.
That is
was in 10
heavy.
minutes.
Whatever it is, I'm going to do a live unboxing. Find out what the heck this is.
I'm
We
so
need a
excited
There you go,
about
can you
this.
hear that?
So that we can see what's happening.
I'm not putting my camera on.
Crispy's like, I'm in my PJs. I'm not putting the camera on.
I've nearly broken my desk. There we go.
I mean, you can
Ooh,
push it on
spatial.
OBS.
Hey, I've got a load spatial.
You can hook up
What'd you
your
get,
cameras
Chris?
to our
I
streaming
got
system and we
spatial,
can see
developing
it,
an
but-
icon, 1972, 2013. Woo!
What is it? It's a very large set of books, right?
It is, isn't it? Yeah. It's covered inside. I don't want to.
So a group of us.
Listen. Oh, it's like Christmas.
A group of us know how much you love the shuttle and how much you would appreciate those books, and so we
Oh,
got
yeah.
together and got you that collection of books as a thanks for everything
Tell
that
you what, you're gonna be doing
do,
stream
and
on
as
yourself now because I was gonna get off air and just read these books.
and as a late birthday present, right? So happy late birthday! Thanks for everything
Oh,
you do.
thank you. It was November.
Well, okay, so this obviously it's a very large, heavy set of books, and so
I tell
there
you
were
what, my
some shipping delays.
postman won't be happy with me. He'll be saying, "You never got a broke my back yesterday. Look at this." Then.
So we're
No, that's
very
awesome.
glad
Thank you
that
very much.
they
Very
all
much
finally
surprised.
arrived.
I had no
We-
idea that was coming.
Awesome. We have so congratulations on your new massive amount of books, and we hope you enjoy it. It's all Mark's idea. So
Was it?
He's the one that organized it and put it together, and yeah. So there you go, bud. Thanks
take
to
a
Mark
picture.
for setting that all up.
I'll take
I
a
mean-
picture later. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So anyways, back to Starship. Thank you, Mark, for setting
Oh,
that
right.
all up.
What's happened? I've come back 10 minutes later and there's no Starship.
It's no longer a Starship.
Did it launch?
Yep, it launched. This is the exhaust plume that we're looking
Oh,
at.
brilliant. Well done. Congratulations, SpaceX and Elon.
All right, let's answer some more of your questions. Here's another one about the belly flap on Mars. Do you think the belly flap will work on Mars? I feel like the speed it came down here on Earth will be much lower than the speed it will fall on Mars. Well, that makes sense because the Earth atmosphere is so much more dense than the Martian atmosphere. But it's still... Is that the drone I hear? But it's still... There is still atmosphere on Mars, and so... maybe if it's going to bleed off its velocity, it has to do like several passes through the atmosphere in sort of a really elliptic orbit and like sort of an aero capturing kind of thing. I don't know, but I do think the general belly flap and arrangement of how it lands on Mars will be about the same. I mean, that makes sense, right? And Chris,
Yeah.
if you see any questions, go for it, Michael.
Yeah, I was gonna say that makes sense.
Chris, if you see any questions that you want to take, by all means,
Yeah.
go for it. I am sitting here on the queue looking for some good ones. In the meantime,
Wow.
I'm going to read some super chats.
We have a lot of super chats, even though
Yeah,
we
wow.
can't. Why are people donating to a stream where you cannot see a starship? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Fog
I do
fans.
kind of feel slightly bad.
Texas fog watchers.
Texas. Oh no! It's supposed
To
to be
be clear.
California fog watchers. It followed me. It followed us.
To be clear, we were not expecting to not be able to see Starship at all. When we went live, we could still see most of Starship, but quite clearly, the conditions have deteriorated since we went live. So hopefully, I mean, I should actually remove our status because I have no idea if the tank farm is venting or not.
It vented so much that this is what it looks like. All right, I'm sorry with the fog jokes. I'll stop with the fog jokes. Vision Thing, thank you for the new membership. I gotta get my YouTube up here so I can see what level you came in at. Make sure my computer is muted. It looks like you came in at... Nope. Oh, taking far too long. Vision Thing, I don't know what level you came in at, but thank you for the new membership. Whatever level you came in, we hope you enjoy the perks. Bill Sparks, thanks for the $5. I say keep on keeping on. No, you, Bill. Thank you. And then Mighty Sir Woof Woof and Clan of Woofmorn. That's adorable. Says bad fog. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but... And then Bruce Hobson says, hey, Bob Hob, any relation to me? I mean, it could be, Bruce. I don't know. You'll have to talk to Robert Hobson about that. Bruce Hob and Bob Hob. Thanks for the support, buddy. Kylie Williams, thanks for the $5 Australian. They say, hello from the future, NSF team. 9 a.m. Friday morning here in Sydney. Fingers crossed for a successful test today. Could not agree more, Kylie Williams. Thank you for the support. Dougal with a 279 says, Team Jack, meow. Thanks, Dougal. Matt Miller, thanks for the $10. $10. Nice chunk of change. Thanks, Mike. Or thanks, Matt. Gosh, now I got your name wrong. Cole Logan, thank you for the $2. They say pineapple on top of Bluebird Cam. Is that a pineapple pizza thing? Is that what you're doing there? Thanks for the support, buddy. Just trying to run through some of these. Vision Thing with another new membership. Did you just up your membership, Vision Thing? What'd you do? Red Team. Welcome to Red Team, Vision. Bunch of new members. Wow. M. Weaver coming in. Thank you to all of our new members today. David Freeman. David Hughes coming in at Capcom, and Reese Jones coming in at Capcom. Both y'all. That's awesome. You get Discord access with Capcom membership. Pop into our Discord and plot about sending Chris B weird things.
There's nothing weird about
But
Shuttle.
seriously, yeah, hopefully about yeah, mostly about Shuttle. Thank you, or maybe horses. Thank you for the support, everybody. Noah Prail, thanks for the $5. Armman24, thank you for the currency units. They say for the epic view and awesome content. Yeah, it's an epic view, all right. Epic fog view. Omari, what's up? One of our members in our Discord. Thanks for the £5. They say, learned today from Jack and the rest of the members' Discord that I'm apparently creator of WinHop. If only I knew at the time what I was starting. I mean, as far as I know, which is not very far, I have a terrible memory. Caveat, weasel words, but I'm pretty sure I credit you for WinHop. It's the earliest in our member Discord instance of WinHop was typed by you, so I'll take it. Congratulations on the monster that you've made.
And by the way, I think we are working on merch as we speak via Mark and his talents.
Yep, and I could be wrong. I could be misremembering. It could be somebody else, but whatever. I'm gonna give Omari credit. Mark Osterland, thank you for the £2. It's £2. Said go Texas Fog Watchers. Matthew Wheeler, thanks for the $4.99. They say any talk of a tanker version of Starship to limit the amount needed for orbital refueling. Not that I've seen, but that's one of those questions that I have. Like, would a tanker version be stretched? In what way would they be able to maximize payload of fuel to orbit, and thus result in less tanker missions being necessary? Because like 5 tanker missions to refuel a Starship for a mission to say Mars or something, that's a lot of launches. And obviously the Starship system is being built to accommodate that sort of thing, but if you can get it down to 2, that's better, right?
If you look super closely on Mary's camera right now, I believe you can just about see the outline of the launch stand. So
Nice.
we can see it again. Barely, but
Hooray.
we can.
Oh yeah, I can. I can, like, if I cross my eyes and like sort of wave my hand in front of the. Yeah, there you go.
Hopefully that means it's improving, because we are getting the fog puns now in chat. We're getting have I missed something?
Haha.
Yep, we're gonna get a few of those.
Last night it did seem to clear out as the night set in, so hopefully it'll start to clear out here, but I have no idea what to expect. Anyways, Matthew, thank you for the support. Tomcat Pedals, thanks for the $5. They say they should try Starship stuff. /Starship stuff /foglights.exe. That's hilarious. Mr. Morgan Kell, thank you for the $5. They say this isn't even though it looks like it ain't Vandenberg. It really does look like Vandenberg, unfortunately. Nicholas, thank you for the new membership. Where'd you come in at? Red Team. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. And Bill D, thank you for the $10. They say some of my beer money for you to turn into data. Well, thank you, Bill. Can always get more beer, right? $10 again, not a small amount of money. Thanks, buddy. Building the Trains, that's another familiar name. Thanks for the $5. They say something big is about to happen. It seems the entire island is venting. That's hilarious. The entire chunk of South Texas is going to conduct a static fire. Oh God, now that sounds terrible. Please no. Angel David Ramirez Batala, thank you for the 19 currents. What is that, pesos? I'm guessing MX is Mexican pesos. That's a total guess. Hopefully I'm not pulling another North Korean dollars here. Thank you, buddy, for the support. And then did I not show Nicholas's Red Team membership on screen? Here we go. Thank you, Nicholas. Adrian Vaughn, ILS is foggy. It is foggy. And finally, Reese, thank you for the $2. They say IR camera time.
Interesting question here as well. We just got from Thunderbird1, who asks, do we have any idea what the permanent solution is for the header tank pressurization? Because that is a good question, because we know the temporary solution is to fill it with helium. But Elon told Tim, Dad, they were looking at a more permanent solution, but we don't know what it is yet. Can we speculate what we think they may do to solve that header tank problem?
Make it stronger? Like, I don't know, thicker steel? I have no idea. I'm not quite sure even. I know there was like a pressure issue, something along those lines, but I'm not too familiar with exactly what the issue was. I don't know, Michael, do you have any input?
Yeah, I know they had a header tank pressurization issue, but we didn't really get the specifics. Presumably some sort of problem keeping it pressed with their current solution, but yeah.
Does that
I don't
mean
even
like
think
Raptor was so thirsty that it like just crumpled the header tank as it tried to pull, or something similar?
Well,
I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap my head around.
I don't think Elon even knows what the permanent solution is yet, because he said they were still looking into it. So
That makes sense.
I think the answer to the question, I think, is no.
All right. Well, good question though.
Yeah.
Cookie Cam asking, how long is the road closure? Right now, the road closure is until 5 p.m. Is that right, Michael? And then if they can extend it. Sometimes they do extend it, like we saw last night. They went until 8.
If they static fire at this point, they're going to have to extend the road closure, because they have not, as far as we know, they have not started the launch countdown sequence. So that would put them, when you include the 40 to 45 minute launch countdown, plus the hour or so of detanking, you know, they will easily blow past 5 p.m.
Yeah, I don't know, 4 o'clock stuck up on me. I mean, maybe the recondenser's going full steam and we just can't tell.
Looks like we can see Starship again, though, slightly.
The word is no venting yet.
Yeah.
Got it.
Times like this, I wish Hopper had woken up, because when Hopper wakes up, at least I can see 2 lights. Pascal Apple Tech asks on Super Chat, better use of an infrared camera to see the star. Will infrared camera help this much? Because I don't know how cameras work.
If you have $100,000, maybe.
Yeah.
Infrared cameras that are good enough to see something in detail from this far away cost a lot of money, or else you just have a bunch of pixels.
Not really worth it for the occasional foggy day.
I can't remember seeing a day like this. I don't know how common it is. That's a good question for Mary, but this is a lot of fog. Did Northrop Grumman test a solid rocket motor today in Utah? Darn it! I should have driven to Utah.
Was it one of the GEM rockets for the
yeah, 63L or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Pink Mouse asking, any news or repercussions on the blockade breaking truck from yesterday? No, I don't think so. I think it's just something that happened.
I mean, they're testing again today, so presumably whatever it is did not take a... If the FAA had been super angry about it, you would have thought they would not have let SpaceX test again today. So whatever it was, I assume they have a solution that they have worked out.
And talking about the static fire test in Utah, the press release says Northrop Grumman conducted a validation ground test of an extended length 63-inch diameter graphite epoxy motor, the GEM 63XL, today in Promontory, Utah. This variation of the company's GEM 63 strap-on booster was developed in partnership with the United Launch Alliance to provide additional lift capacity for the Vulcan Centaur rocket. So that's all going well, because we do know that we've not seen too much about Vulcan. We've seen more than we've seen for New Glenn. But Tory has been the one, he's been acting like an Elon, where the only official information comes from the boss. And Tory's been tweeting the occasional photos from the factory floor, which will have to go through a lot of clearance because of the way United Launch Alliance works on export control and whatever. And they're showing they're getting the piece together, but I think a lot of people want to see a Pathfinder at least out at the pad, and then we'll know it's getting closer. And right now they're just installing 2 non-flight engines, the BE4 engines, which do not fire, into the Pathfinder. So they are quite a way away from it yet, but that's good news from the solid strap-on side of things. So that's moving on forward.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to figure out how much we can see from each of our robots. One of the robots haven't even shown today because it's completely useless with the fog, but
It's not launch day. It doesn't launch day, isn't we know?
no, they would not launch in this weather.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
They want to be able to see the test vehicle during a test flight so that they can gather data. If something were to go wrong, I mean, they still have a lot of data from what they can downlink over the ground station at Boca Chica, but I think they want visuals on Starship so that they can also have video data as to what has happened. But for a static fire, I mean, I'm sure SpaceX's camera is right there at the pad, can probably see fine. So, I mean, if I go back to this robot, you can still see that there is about, I don't know how much visibility that is as the camera struggles to focus, but there is a decent amount of visibility. It's just when you're a mile and a half away, it's difficult. So I'm sure the cameras at the pad can see the static fire itself well enough right now.
And yet we're still getting super chats even though we're just streaming fog, which amazes me, but very much appreciate at the same time. AK, he says towards a giant $499 towards a giant fan to blow the fog away. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. We've got no sigh, too much venting, Elon. We're getting the puns in with the super chats now. This is getting surreal. Dan Varte with £5 says header tank issue, green flame on SN8 landing indicates starved locks. Yeah, it's fuel rich. So it's more of an issue with the locks feed pressure. So good way of working out. It did actually go when it was eating itself. It was very much an orange flame. Do you remember the Starhopper launch? The final few seconds of landing during Starhopper, the flame went very orange. And that showed the engine was dying, and that's why it was quite an achievement for Hopper to land, because it was a hard landing. The post-flight photos Mary got showed that her feet were dug into the landing pad, literally were planted inside the concrete. So it was a very hard landing with that engine giving way the last few seconds, and that was also where the flame was turning very orange, which obviously showed it was fuel rich. Blue Sensei, we've answered that question. $10, that's very much appreciated. But the chance of a thermal camera, it's a lot of money for what you don't really need all that much. So I think we're basically best concentrating on just the quality of equipment we've got for what is most of the time, which is a normal viewpoint of a non-foggy day.
I mean, we could not even afford one good enough to work from a mile and a half away, like I was mentioning earlier. You can buy one for cheap, but one that has high enough resolution to work from a mile and a half away and be any good is probably like $100,000, at least mid to high 5 figures at least. So I don't think it's within our budget.
Yep. But thanks for the support. Good old Blue Sensei.
And Rough Riders ask if we can give a tease on the Peter Beck stream for NSF Live the weekend. Can we do that?
I think you just did.
It's self-explanatory, isn't it? We have Peter Beck of Rocket Lab on the NSF Live show on this Saturday.
We captured one
UTC.
Peter Beck, and he's in our control. He cannot leave the room that he is in until NASASpaceflight Live. He's trapped.
If you've got any burning questions for Peter Beck of Rocket Lab, please get them set up and ready, because that will be an extremely interesting stream.
Yep, jump in.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Once we go live on that stream, we will, like our normal chat queue process, you tag out NASASpaceflight, we answer your question. It'll be just like that, except instead of, we will ask the question, but Peter will answer the question. So, but right now I'm showing the production site because it is one thing that we can at least see, and I'm going to work on getting this camera on manual focus, because quite clearly the autofocus is not meant for this fog.
Autofocus. Ocean Breeze with a $5 super chat asking, what is NSF not safe for? It's not safe fog or no seeing fog. It's got to be fog related, right? Fog. It's a fog joke. There's fog. It's foggy. There's fog. Alejandro in chat saying, this looks a lot like Vandenberg. Yes, we know. It stinks. It is what it is. Shmel Nathan asking, how are they going to move boosters to the floating platforms? Will they build a port near the build site? Can you guys discuss the support structure seen on the dome on the booster? That's a lot of questions. There's 3 separate questions. First question, how are they going to move boosters to the floating platforms? We don't know. Some of us have speculated hops. We don't know. But hops would be coolest. There's also the port connector road. that is going from Highway 4 to the port, but the oil rig is currently on the wrong side of the canal for that. So I'm not quite sure how that would work, if they intend to use that for Starships, or if it's only semi-related or run-related or what. But those are the two options as they currently exist, I think. And then number 2, will they build a port near the build site? I don't think so. And then number 3, can you guys discuss the support structure seen on the dome on the booster? So if you watch the daily videos, if you are keeping track on the forums, Mary has found booster number 2. She's taken photos, or the forward dome for booster number 2. She's taken photos of it, and there is an interesting sort of hexagonal cap or like extra support structure on the top of that forward dome that we haven't seen on any previous forward domes. And I've seen some speculation that that might be sort of like a connector for Starship, or like that's where Starship would mount, or that's where some of the load would be distributed. But clearly, they are working and continuing work on the super heavy boosters, and I'm excited to see number 2 and parts of number 2 start to come out into the open, and for Mary to snag pictures of them. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys have any other. Have you guys seen that cool hexagonal forward dome looking thing?
Yeah, I've seen it. I can't work out what kind of if it's part of the actual Starship structure that will be incorporated in the vehicle, or if it's some kind of like new structure they're using for the construction process. But I would point towards the former because it is different. We've not seen it before, and it is interesting. But it's a lot of weight if it's part of the internal structure, unless I'm misreading how much it weigh. But we're just looking at this camera view here, and I was just basically saying we've seen a thrust section being flipped, and that was for a future Starship, and they are so far ahead in these Starships now. They're literally lining them up. So whatever they may be doing with that one with the structure on top, maybe it's in a test tank. I don't know.
Well, it said booster number 1 or booster number 2 on the side of it. So
is that the one with the hexagonal? Is that the one with the hexagonal structure on it?
Yeah.
Oh right, so that is a super heavy structure.
I thought, unless I'm completely mistaken, I could be wrong, but that was my understanding. Good questions from Mr. Nathan there. Thank you, buddy. A lot of stuff going on in Boca Chica, despite the fog. Let's see. All right, we're already getting way behind on super chats, so I'm going to go through some of these.
Yeah. Thank you,
Infinity
everybody, for
Tech,
the super
thank
chats.
you. Say what?
No, I was going to say thank you, everybody, for the super chats, because these, as you mentioned before, all the camera angles you've added really increases our expenses. So the more super chats you send, the more cameras you can afford to deploy. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, there's a direct proportional ratio of cameras to super chats. Infinity Tech, thanks for the $2. Eric Ramey, thank you for the $4.99. They say loving the lower third title right now. Starship is out there somewhere, promise. That's hilarious. Let's see.
Wait, really quickly, Jack. That is SpaceX is something very similar for a Falcon 9 launch at Vandenberg. So that's what that's based off of. That is not our joke. We are just that's like a nod to the SpaceX joke on a SpaceX webcast a year or two ago at Vandenberg.
Yep. What was that, like RadarSat or something?
Yeah, I think it was RadarSat.
I was so bummed for that one because it was, of course, completely fogged out, and it was a return to launch site landing, and it was in the daytime. Oh, RadarSat. Anyways. Thank you, Eric Ramey, for the $4.99. Jason Russell, thank you for the $4.99. It says, feels like I'm watching a Stephen King flick right now. Thanks for the streams. Now light this candle. Seriously, light the candle. Light the candle. Pandas213, thank you for the $5 Canadian. They say, I thought the night vision cam robot have IR, if I'm not mistaken. That's an IR illuminator. That is it's a different thing, right? So, slightly different thing you're thinking of there.
And even that thing is only 300 feet of range or something, so.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah, see, what that does is it uses infrared, like a blaster, basically an infrared flashlight on the camera itself to illuminate a subject and then transfer that into visible wavelength light that you then look at. Versus like a FLIR camera, a forward-looking infrared camera that actually looks at something and takes its temperature and then translates that into, a multicolored image that you can then see. Oh, this part's hot, this part's cold. That's a different thing. Adrian Vaughn, thanks for the £2. They say fog is a test. See how well it does with Mars dust. Nice. And Chris B, I bet, is right now just thumbing through those shuttle books.
Actually, I'm thumbing through about 5,000 emails.
Shuttle emails. Linda
It's
Briggs, thank you
never
for the new
stops.
membership. Linda Briggs, where did you come in at? Let me see if I can figure that out. I can't. You know what? I'm gonna bring up Fleet Cam. That's the trick. Fleet Cam rules. But pro tip, you can't type Fleet Cam into Google because Google doesn't know what Fleet Cam is. I am just dumb. Okay, Fleet Cam, bam. You guys are just gonna have to listen to me do this. Boom. Oh, I can't see. No. Oh, Linda Briggs, Capcom. Awesome. Thank you for the Capcom membership, Linda Briggs. And Armin24, also Capcom. What's up, everybody? Once you get your Discord access, pop into Discord. I'll send you my customary Forrest Gump arm-waving GIF in order to greet you. Boom, Baby Chase. Thank you for the £5. Say I'd rather have that fog than 2 feet snow blizzard out my window here in Scotland. I mean, that's fair. Fog better than snow. I think we can all agree. Even though fog bad, snow worse. Claude Bertrand, thanks for the $5 They say, did SpaceX carry out wind tunnel tests on Starship models while researching the belly flap? Yes. I mean, I'm not sure quite about the belly flap part, but we know that SpaceX has done wind tunnel work with Starship. Hope, thanks for the new membership. Let's see. Padrat, welcome to Padrat, Hope. Thanks to all of our new members on the stream. Bunch of new members. And 2 Gaming Bros. Thanks for the membership at Capcom. That's awesome of you. Again, Discord access to our Capcom members, so enjoy that. Secretion Orb says, enhance. That's hilarious. I wish we could. Thanks for the $1.99. Daniel Ross, thanks for the £1. Boom Baby Chase, thanks for the £10. They say, actually, a snow-related question. We name our gritters here in Scotland Speedy Mercury. Yes, sir. What is going on? I don't even know what I'm about to read. Hang on, I gotta read this, make sure I can actually read this.
While you're doing that, Jack, I'm just going to put a tweet into the chat, which is from Julie Bergeron, who's taken 2 pictures of Falcon 9, another launch tomorrow, with the Transporter 1 rideshare mission from
Nice.
SLC-40, and I'm putting it into chat now, so you can see those 2 pictures.
Excellent work from Julia, as usual. Multifaceted team here at NASA Spaceflight. Digifix, thanks for the $2. Blake Parsons, thank you for the $38.99 Australian. Awesome of you. Just more Blake Parsons all the time. Just representing the entire country of Australia. Thank you, Blake. Rectiv with a venting joke. Thanks for the $5, bud. John Stansfield, thank you for the £10. £10? It's about how much those books weighed, huh, Chris?
Indeed, yeah.
Dr. Z, thanks for the $5. They say, what is causing the late aborts at engine chill? We don't know. Simple answer, we don't know. Could be any number of a variety of things. I mean, I'm sure they have hundreds of channels of data that they can be looking at and decide to, any one of a couple hundred different parameters could cause an abort. What those couple hundred parameters could be, I won't even begin to tell you, but, things like propellant temperature, oxidizer temperature, timings of valves, all kinds of stuff like that. Miss Help, thank you for the £5. They say, I've just realized I spent more time with you lot in the last 24 hours than any other actual human beings Keep going, guys. Yep. Hang in there. Thanks for the support. Martin Gould, thanks for the £5. They say, hey guys, this is for the view again or non-view. Hey, it's still great stuff. Wolverhampton is currently fog-free tonight. Great job. Oh, I'm glad you're fog-free there. At least you are. Kylie Williams representing the Aussies again with the $5 Australian. Thank you, Kylie, again for another super chat. Bimmergeezer, thank you for the $10. They say, hey guys, is it foggy here or am I older than I thought? I don't get it.
From what we can tell, it is starting to clear a little bit, and hopefully enough by the time they get to the static fire T0 point.
Fingers crossed,
Yeah.
yeah. There's been times at Vandenberg where it's been similar or the same as this, and I've thought, well, surely at least at liftoff we'll see an orange glow or something, and no such luck.
It
So
looks like,
hopefully we.
I was gonna say, it looks like our robot towards the beach can sort of see stuff now. Not really that well, but you can tell there's a tank farm at least, so I'm working to
Mary-
get it online.
Mary's just said she can hear venting, so they're moving along.
Yeah, I think they're at least at tank farm activity right now, so we'll bring that back up.
Probably a recondenser.
So yeah, Boom Baby Chase, thank you for the £10. I don't even know how to begin to answer your question. It seems like a very Scottish question. Chris, do you have any idea how to answer this?
Yeah, let's look at that. Actually, it's no related question. We name our gritters here in Scotland Freddie Oh yes, Freddie Mercury. Yeah, yes, Ice Kamboogie, Gritty Bang Bang. What name would you come up with for fun? There's a story there. We've got gritters. They're basically big trucks with which spray salt on the roads when it's icy to make sure that you can drive on them. And they're named the gritters. Funny names. They do that in Yorkshire as well. So what will we give? Well, we've come up with enough silly names for the vehicles, like the Zillas for the cranes and what have you. So I think we might have worn ourselves out with the silly names, but that's a true story about what they do with the gritters.
That's okay. Thank you for the explanation there, and thank you, Boom Baby, for the support. Taylor Van Camp, thanks for the $5. Recondenser is on. I'm not sure how you know that, but cool. And then Schlippery, thank you for the $5.49. They say, keep it up, lads. Plenty of late nights watching you here from Dublin. Awesome. Thank you, Schlippery. Fun name to say, too. And Ben Sharp, thank you for the $1.99.
And I promise we could see. I could barely see the tank farm before I switched to this camera, but even from this angle, I cannot really make out anything anymore. But I'll keep that up, and if something happens, we'll switch back to it. So in other words, it looked like it was getting better, and then it immediately got worse again. But we'll keep looking.
Yep, and again, if you guys have questions, feel free to at NASASpaceflight and throw your questions in chat, and we will be able to answer them. And also, no, I think I'll save that for a little later. Nerdly Knight, thanks for the $5. With another fog joke. Sorry, I'm not happy with the fog. I'm not enjoying the jokes, I'll be honest. I'm glad you guys are, though. Miss Help, thank you for the £5. Thank you. We could be watching anything right now, and we're all just sat here believing you. That's fan dedication. Seriously, thanks for watching, everybody, even though it's a foggy stream. Austin Long, thanks for the $10. They say, thanks to you guys' continued dedication to bringing top quality community together. And, yeah, tell Joe Rogan and Elon to chill. That's funny. Clinton Hunter, thank you for the $5. During a static fire, do they have to evacuate the shipyard as well, or is it safe distance away for workers to continue building starships? They do not evacuate the shipyard for static fires. Thanks for the support, buddy. Okay, Musical Wolves got me with a fog. That's pretty funny. They say, does TFR mean the fog returns? And Connor L, thank you for the $4.99.
Okay. I think I can see the tank farm.
Nils asking, is it possible they're testing seal number 7.2, that new test tank? I don't think so. Eric Roche asking, what is the reason for yesterday's aborts? We don't know. Oh, and it looks like we have a new daily video to work on getting published, so I'm going to work on that. You guys want to take it away, Chris?
Yep, leave me with the fog. Although this view, as Michael said, you can start to see the outline of the tank farm, and hopefully that's a sign things are moving in the right, trending in the right direction as far as the fog view goes.
I'm trying to focus this camera as best as I can. So you might see it moving in and out, but even focusing this camera is really hard right now because the connection to our camera is struggling in the fog.
And Joe Pipple mentions, Chris, extremely thick fog in Liverpool this evening. 1-0 loss to Burnley at Anfield. Oh dear. That's a bit of a shocker. Gene Alex asks, when do you think we will see the Starship booster section test flight? Ooh, now that's a good question. The BM1, there's some stacking going on inside the high bay. We haven't got any dates at all. We just know that SN9 is coming up, then maybe SN10. There's a test tank test today, obviously. And then maybe they'll look towards the super booster hop, because they're currently thinking of 2 Raptors on a 150-meter hop. Whether that's remaining the plan from when Elon mentioned it quite a long time ago is to be seen. But I would hope that we will see a super heavy test maybe in the spring, going on summer. And they've got BN2 already coming along the line, so you would expect with BN2 coming along, they want to get BN1 out of the high bay and get it onto the pad. So that is something I think we might see sooner rather than later. But we don't have any dates yet. Super chat from Adrian about an antimatter device. No, trust me, and our new physics section of our forum regularly gets someone from some random country saying, I've got an anti-matter device, anti-gravity devices and what have you. Just need crowdfunding. That usually doesn't mean they have it. So yeah, that's one of those keywords you've got to watch out for. I don't think, even though it's a joke on the super chat, that brings back some memories from the forum. Joe Whitemeyer asks, how much fog will it dissipate when the engine's fired? That's a good question. I don't think much, but we'll see it. I think that's obviously something we're hoping for with the big orange glare. But we're just hoping this fog clears a bit better for a start. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a pointless view without seeing the engines firing. Yeah, Boca Chica fog farm watchers. Yeah, lots of questions relating to the Raptors burned away to fog. I really think they'll need a lot more than just the Raptors firing to clear this fog. This is a big fog bank. It needs local weather conditions to improve. Tech control sirens soon. No, I think we're still a bit off yet from the sirens. The police siren, I should say, which is the Boca Chica deputy who runs around in his police car with his siren going. That's usually around 10 minutes to go. before the firing. We're a long way off that yet, so we will. Mary will hear it for a start, so we'll know when it happens. I think the moderators decided to go to a member-only chat. Am I right? Because we're getting a lot of silly comments from the obvious side of things.
Chris, I can ask you a question about the space shuttle if you want.
You can, you know.
Do you think Starship is a shuttle 2.0?
Yes, I do. I think when the shuttle was envisioned, they were looking at reusability. That was one of the key things. There's lots of questions about the capability of its up mass and what it was going to do and the versatility of the shuttle. But the main key thing was a reusable spaceplane. The big selling point was the fact that it came back down on a runway and could be reused again and again and again. And that really is what Elon is looking for with Starship, which is rapidly reusable. And shuttle was meant to be rapidly reusable. There's lots of old artistic drawings of a shuttle in the OPF, and it showed basically just a clean bay where they were just reinstalling a new payload inside the shuttle. It just landed. That never was envisioned. That never came to fruition, I should say. What happened was the complexity of what happened to a shuttle during flight required a large overhaul. Siren? Oh my word. So we're T-minus 10 minutes. We're not going to see anything.
It was a short little siren.
I mean, I think we might see. I think we should see some light.
But that trick has worked, by the way, where I start giving a 10-minute explanation to something and then Michael has to interrupt me. So that's one thing. That's not changed. But yeah, just while we're waiting, the reason why I do think Starship is what Shuttle wanted to be is because it removes a lot of the issues Shuttle had, which mitigated the fact that they couldn't turn it around fast enough, and it was too expensive and it was too dangerous. Everything that Shuttle had down points with towards what it wanted to be, Starship has solved via design. So I really do think it is Shuttle 2.0 and then some, because of the capability and because of the cheaper production costs and turnaround processing and everything like that. Everything is in its favour, providing it can shake out the technology towards orbital refueling, because then it'll take on SLS, and that's when it really becomes a thing, because orbital refueling is where it gets its capability from as far as beyond Earth orbit, whereas SLS is all power. It's all power but single use. So that's what I'm hoping Starship can prove. First of all, its ability to do what it says it can do from both a technical standpoint and from its mission capability standpoint.
Yep. So under 10 minutes to the hop based on the Under 10 minutes to static fire based on sirens that we just heard. So probably 45 or 44 for that static fire.
I've got to read this
Mary sent us the siren text of 35, so probably around 5 or 4:45 local time for that static fire attempt, and I will turn our audio all the way up when we get close so that we can at least hear the static fire. It should be extra loud with all that fog.
Adrian's spreadsheet for this attempt just says fog, 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 fog.
I have to read the super chat out. KJ with £5. This is basically the view from what would be a Scottish spaceport. Bet it's a bit warmer there though. Keep up the good work, guys, from a wet York, UK. Got a local. KJ, if you can reply, say about where about in York you're from, because that is local. While we're watching this, it's the Sutherland spaceport. If you've seen the Bond movie Casino, which one is it? Skyfall. If you watch the movie Skyfall with James Bond, he goes up north to his former home, and that viewpoint where he parks his car up the first time round is roughly what Sutherland looks like. So it'd be an amazing place to watch a rocket launch from. I will get this tweet lined up just in case they do fire the engines.
And I am getting as many camera views ready as I can. Let's see what we can see. I can see the tank farm venting though on the left side of this camera. It's hard to tell, but when the coating clears up, I can see. Now I can. Fog seems to be changing kind of quickly, but.
By the way, you will hear us do large gaps of no talking. That's mainly to avoid talking over what will be the noise of the static fire test. Obviously, we've got a bit of a time delay from the time the sound reaches our microphones, so that will save us a little bit. But if we go quiet for periods, that's because we're just listening out.
Huh.
Chris, maybe you better download and get this taken care of. I can publish it if you want, but it's saying it's going to take me 50 minutes to download it on this hotel Wi-Fi.
Leave with me.
We can see the tank farm again from the beach. It's very hard to see, but if you look closely, you can see the outline of some tanks. You can see it from that view pretty well too. I mean, pretty well relative to how it's been, not pretty well relative to how it normally is, but. You can clearly see tanks on Mary's camera, so that's a good sign.
And quick message for Jack, I'm downloading that video, so leave it with me.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll just cancel it on my end then, because it's a joke over here. Okay, let's see. Let's answer some more of your questions while we get closer and closer to static fire. Michael, what time did you say we were hoping for?
We were hoping for, I think, 44 or 45, so coming up on that now. I'm just going through all the angles, trying to figure out which one's going to be the best. It looks like Mary is the one where the fog is clearing just enough for us to see Starship at the last minute. You can actually see it venting right now. So we are actually going to get to see this, I think. Wow, that was incredible timing. But
Yay!
still can't see much from the beach, so it's all Mary's camera. But wow, that's just, we can clearly see it right now, just at the last second. So, okay, I'm going to turn up
Try
her.
venting.
I'm turning up her volume. And we should get a static fire here shortly. Of course, for the boards, we're not going to see the depress. We won't know. But
Don't say that word, Michael.
hopefully not. We'll watch and see what happens. Okay, the tri-vent is pulsing. Okay, that was not full duration. Let's listen in. That looked short, didn't it, Chris?
Just
Okay.
rewinding now.
That
was short.
I'm pretty sure that looked short.
Oh, dear.
Let us know what you think in chat, but to me that looked short. Pre-burner, chat says. Yeah, it did look like only pre-burners to me. I agree with that assessment. We didn't really see a lot of thrust, so maybe they aborted at pre-burner ignition, or maybe they were going for a pre-burner test. I'm not sure, but definitely not a full duration static fire, I don't think.
Yeah. Mary said it didn't sound like it didn't sound good, so I don't think that was it.
I'm gonna, if you want to see a replay, you can just rewind our YouTube video. But
You guys,
I'm
I got awesome video of it. Oh my gosh.
Great job, Jack.
It's so great. It's like just a white cube. It's the
Okay, after
coolest white
seeing
cube ever.
after seeing the replay, I think it was a little bit more thrust than a pre-burner. I think it was an aborted static fire. As in aborted like milliseconds after Raptor started firing up. But it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say, and it's really hard to see.
I'm just getting a tweet out.
Yeah. Okay. Good point, chat. That's a good point. Pre-burners do not sound like that. I think that is a fair assessment.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with chat, but frequently after aborted static fire or during a static, people always think it's like, was it a wet dress rehearsal? Was it a pre-burner? It's just like, no, probably not. I think you're right, Michael. I think that was an aborted static fire.
Well, tweeted it, so we'll see what if we get the big man. I don't think he will, though. He tends to only reply to things that go well. So,
So that Mary says that sounded like a static fire in terms of volume. So there was an instant where it was as loud as a static fire. I don't think it was as loud as a static fire for the normal duration of time, but it did reach the audio levels of a static fire. So I think we can. I would trust Mary's judgment on that, given that she has seen pretty much every single test they've done down there. So if Mary says it was not a static fire, excuse me, if Mary says it was a static fire, I think it was a static fire too. So I'm going to go with that. If they do another attempt, hopefully the fog will clear up a bit more.
Well, that's one thing that's that's in the favour of everything. It's certainly clearing up now.
Yeah. Brady says that to him that sounded not right at the very beginning, so I'm gonna listen to it again. But I hope the Raptor obviously do not have some kind of rud, because that would mean they have to swap Raptors again, which would push the hop a lot more. So fingers crossed it was a normal abort and not some kind of engine-rich exhaust. Doesn't look like there's any fire at the pad though, so that's always a good sign. Yeah, that's another good point, Brady. Brady's saying that it also could have been the fog making it sound different, but hard to tell.
All right, I just tweeted my super awesome, crazy, amazingly good static fire footage. I'll throw a link in chat if you want to check that out. It's so great. If you can't tell, I'm obviously being sarcastic. It's just fog. It sounded pretty cool though. So now we wait to see if they recycle or if they indeed open the road at 5. Michael, you get notified when they change the road closures, right? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll know if they extend the road closure.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. They are already about to go past the road closure, so we'll see if they go for another attempt or not. But clearly an off-nominal static fire test, so they're going to have to do another one. If they can't do it today, they do still have a potential to test tomorrow. I think the current road closure tomorrow is for possibly a crane move because it's a bit short for normal testing, but perhaps they could possibly extend that road closure to enable testing tomorrow. And that would still give them 2 days of margin on Saturday and Sunday to get whatever remaining work they have to get done before the test flight attempt as early as Monday. But I don't know what to say, Jack. Maybe Jack is some sort of jinx right now, Jack. What do you think?
I think I'm about to drive back to LA if I can.
No, Jack, we need you out there. I know you've been out there for a long time with not a lot of actual test flight action, Jack, but you have been a super valuable asset out there, helping get all the robots set up and whatnot. So I really appreciate you taking the time to head out to Boca Chica and help out. Definitely a big team effort, and this coverage could not be possible without a lot of people, from Mary to Doss to Jack to Chris on commentary, to all the different aspects that are needed to make it happen. So super appreciative to Jack, and also of course to Mary. Both of them are out there making this coverage happen.
No worries. Happy to help. Just doing some grunt work. And I obviously jokingly complain a little bit because I've been here for a while on this one, but definitely enjoying myself and definitely still finding things to do to be useful and to shoot.
Is the fog getting worse again? I think it is.
Fog just gonna oscillate. Thanks,
Yeah.
Fog. Thanks, Mother Earth. Stupid planet sustains us all.
Well, I mean, if it was gonna clear up for 5 minutes, it picked the right time.
That's true. That is true. We're 20 minutes behind on memberships and super chats, so might as well.
Yeah,
Run
let's
through
go
some.
through that because we need to thank them for paying for our data plans.
Thank you for Fried Jemmy. Thank you for the $2. Pandemic. Thank you for the $5. Air Commander. No, we don't think it was a pre-burner, but thank you for the £2.
I mean, it might have ended up being close to a pre-burner, but because of the early abort. But Mary says she heard the sound of a static fire, so that means there's probably some amount of main stage combustion. I'm not sure how much, though. I mean, I have static fire complete their status. I don't know what I should call that, though. I'll just say static fire abort.
Yeah, static fire abort. Plain and simple.
That's better. And then we'll move it up to detanking. Not sure if they're going to recycle, but when they do a actual ignition, typically they fully detank before they start again, if they are going to start again today. Again, road closure is scheduled to end in 4 minutes now, so unclear if they will extend the road closure, but they did extend it yesterday, so still a chance that they could, make another attempt today, but until the road closure is extended, we won't know for sure.
Quirk Shop. Thank you for the new membership. Oh no, I lost my window so I can tell what level you came in at. Either way, Quirk Shop, thank you for the new membership. Michael 090, since when are they testing starships at Vandenberg? With 50 Swedish krona, thank you. And boo Vandenberg, boo. Well, yay Vandenberg launches, boo Vandenberg fog. KJ, thank you for the £2. They say New Eastwick, New Earswick, and yeah, hopefully get to see one go. So I think that was an answer to Chris B's question on where this person was. New Earswick. Oh, British names. Dan Rar BC, thanks for the new membership. Michael, thanks for the new membership. Pandemic 270, thanks for the membership. Smiley Face, new member, thank you. EMJ, new member, thank you. Andrew Brown, Austin Long, and Martin Gould, all new members. Thanks to our new members. Got a whole bunch of new ones this stream. You're awesome. Austin Long came in at Padrat. Martin Gould came in Austin Long came in at Capcom. Martin Gould came in at Padrat. Austin Brown came in at Padrat. MJ, Red Team, Smiley Face at Padrat. Thank you, everybody. Pandemic at Padrat. Michael at Padrat. Get different perks, get all kinds of good stuff. Dan RBC, Padrat. Whole bunch of rats. Whole bunch of new ratters. I'll have to come up with a name for y'all. If you have any questions at NASASpaceflight, we will answer them. Sam Norton, new membership. Padrat. Thanks, buddy. So yeah, now we just wait and see if that road opens or if they. Air Commander, new member. Thanks, buddy. Padrat. Gavin, new member. Thank you. Thanks to all of our members. That's awesome. Padrat and Bill Sparks, also a new member. Let me guess, also a Padrat? No, Red Team. What's up, Bill? Thank you. Members, give me a triple Elon in chat, because you get member emoji if you are a member. There's an Elon heavy. Bam.
Let's see. Could DOS draw what a starship would be? Did you get that one, Jack?
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah, so I was just making sure because our queue is in members only right now. Our queue is shorter, so I was making sure it wasn't a duplicate. But yes, too bad DOS is not here today because DOS could draw a starship, and it would be quite funny. But I think DOS is running his monthly museum show with the Intrepid Museum, where he is. I think on this episode he's talking with a bunch of actual astronauts about the anniversary of STS-1, so that's pretty cool. So check out DOS's Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/DOS Valdez, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put his info in the corner, but yeah, he has a cool program going on right now, so that's where DOS is. It looks like they just turned on some of the lights at the pad on the left, so. Let's see on Mary's cam if we can see anything. Yeah, you can see the outline of Starship again. That's a good sign.
SimPilot10 saying, methinks the chances that they reduced the static fire time and this static fire was nominal are marginal. I don't think that was nominal static fire.
I've pointed that robot at the tank farm to see what we can see. Doesn't look like there's a ton of venting from the tank farm right now, so likely a sign that they're continuing to detank. Let's see. What else do we have?
Michael, question for you on YouTube.
Oh.
I mean, I'm making it for you, but I feel like you would know, so I'm asking you. Blue Sensei, thanks for the $5. Miss Help, thank you for the £5. Andrew Johnson, thanks for the £5. I don't think we're looking for any more help streaming or anything, but I don't know, maybe send one of us an email or something. No, you know, just say hi. Arcvoodle, thanks for the 99 cents. Gary McFarland, thank you for the new membership. Kylie Williams, thanks for the $2 Australian and the happy Elons. Mr. Morgan Kell, thanks for telling the fog to shoo. And the €5. Joe Mascaro, Andrew Johnson, Danny Boy, and Hayden A. Thank you all for the new memberships. Hayden coming in at Pad Rat. Danny coming in at Pad Rat, Andrew at Pad Rat, and Joe at Red Team. Thank you all. John Sharp asking why ambient sound sounds like the sea now? Because the beach is right there. Oh, man.
Pandas. I'm not sure Elon wants us to put a camera right next to his pad. I'm not sure, but I don't know even how you contact Elon these days. So I guess the way you contact Elon these days, you at him on Twitter. But I think we can do enough with what we have normally. This is an extraordinary fog circumstance that doesn't seem to be too common, so I'm not too worried about this being a regular occurrence. Mary says there's a lot of vehicles leaving the checkpoint, but the road remains closed, so once they finish detanking, we'll see what happens with the checkpoint. If it opens up, that will be the most definitive sign that they are done testing for today. Know what I'm kind of wondering, Jack?
What's up?
Do you think we would see them test SN7.2 and SN9 in like the same window?
Yes.
That would be pretty cool. I wonder if
That
they could
would be
even test
awesome.
them at the same time, if that's like a thing. Because I was just thinking
Like
about you.
It's like the two pumps are, or the two hoses are like on the same pump. It's like, well, if we're going to test 9, we have to test that. No, I'm kidding. No, that's a good question.
Because I was just thinking, it's a lot of, every time they abort or scrub a static fire and move to the next day, it's another day where they have the pad area clear, so they can't make progress on things like the orbital launch pad and stuff. So you want to minimize how many times you are testing. And every time you close the area for testing, that's a day lost of work on the orbital launch mount. So perhaps we could see them, as they move into SN7.2 testing, try to test 2 vehicles in the same window, speed things up. And if they're doing a week of SN7 or SN7.2 testing and then a week of SN10 testing after SN9 flies, that's a lot of testing. Not a lot of time to build new infrastructure out there that they need for future prototypes. So I'm curious to see how they fit SN7.2 into the upcoming schedule.
Yeah, good. I mean, a road closure is a road closure, right? Like,
Yeah,
might as well.
I think definitely testing in the same window is possible. I'm also wondering, could they test them at the same time? Maybe
They're going to test 7.2 to destruction while SN9 lifts off.
I guess it's not just physically having the hardware to do it. It's also having, I guess, 2 different teams to monitor each test. You have to have the capacity to log data from 2 tests at once. There's a lot of different components, but you can see Starship again, by the way. Barely.
Yay.
Luis, thank you so much for the membership. Appreciate your support. And Dougal, good question about the serial number of the dome that was being flipped yesterday. I don't think we know. Mary, if you know the serial number of the dome being flipped yesterday, let me know, but I don't think we knew which starship that was for. I guess perhaps which Super Heavy that was for. I'm not positive, but... What is going on at launch? Not at launch site, but at the build site. That is a crazy noise.
That's not the multi-transporter moving, is it?
I'm zooming out to find out. It might have already moved past our camera, but that's what I'm currently seeing at the build site.
Mega transporter's right there, so
Yeah.
must have been something else.
So good, so good. There we go. Yeah, that is I'll zoom in on it, but at the top of your screen. Now the center of your screen, that is the Mega Transporter. We're not quite sure what it's going to be used for, right, Jack? But perhaps they will start using that to move Super Heavy and Starships around from the build site to the launch site.
What do we got? Road's still closed, right?
Road is still closed, and I mean, it does take a while to detank Starship, though, so probably going to be an hour or so from the static fire, which was at, what, 4:45, so maybe another half hour of detanking and then depressing before we know for sure, but until we know that they have scrubbed for today, we will continue to cover this. And Mary confirms that we do not know which dome that was. But as you can see, that the crane is currently on. The crane is currently lifted up onto the wood and planks. So there is that road closure tomorrow for 3 hours. Perhaps they're going to move that crane. We don't know for sure though, but I don't think they're going to roll SN10 to the launch site tomorrow. I could be wrong, but it just seems like rolling both SN10 to the launch site, then you have to roll the big crane to the launch site, then you have to get SN10 onto pad A. I'm not sure we're going to do that all before SN9 flies, but I guess the further and further SN9 delays, the more likely it is that we could see SN10 and SN9 at the pad at the same time, but I do think they're most likely going to try to get SN9 launched first. Take another look at the tank farm. I think we can see the grass vent is still on. Hard to see what other venting is happening right now, but not a whole lot of venting at the tank farm right now. some of our members saying there's some action at the build site, so I will flip a camera around and take a look.
Michael, I have a question for you.
Yep.
What is your least favorite starship?
My least favorite starship. I think there's only one answer to that, isn't there?
Probably.
I think it starts with an S and ends in a 9.
That would make sense. I think I would be in agreement with you there.
I mean, to be fair though, it could change very quickly. If it lands
Yeah, I mean,
successfully,
if it's
that is the best starship so far. No matter what happens.
Yeah, you beat me to it, but yes, correct. If it does land, then it immediately goes from the worst starship to the best starship. But right now, it's in the doghouse? Starship house? I don't know.
I did flip our camera to the production site, and I'm not seeing any changes from when we last looked. Though I'm sure there are lots of changes happening, we just can't see them because SpaceX is always doing something.
Yep, you can see serial number 10 in the high bay. You can see
Ah,
booster number
Jack,
1.
right when I flipped the camera, you said you could
Sorry.
see SN10.
I-
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I immediately regretted it.
Go
you
ahead.
can see SN10. You can see the booster number 1 in the high bay. You can see the mid bay where they're working on serial number 15 and serial number 11. You can see serial number 5. You can see the moon cone. You can see the production tents. You can see the ground fabrication building. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
No, it's my fault, actually. I'm the one clicking the buttons, and great timing on that transition, Michael. But I mean, the fog, I don't want to jinx it, but the fog is improving right now. I'm actually getting to the point where it might be worth spooling up the beach robot again soon, but I don't want to waste too much data. So if we're not actually going to use the camera, I'm not going to burn data, but if the fog keeps clearing, we'll see what we can do in terms of getting more camera angles. But on Mary's camera right now, which is definitely our best view of the test today, I don't think we're seeing much venting. Can you see anything, Jack?
No, but if she's reporting it, I believe it.
Oh, she says depressed venting. Okay, so no venting at the bottom that we can really see, but depressed venting refers to that big vent up higher, which is right now kind of up in the fog. So when that happens, Mary can hear it. So that means they're working towards depressing Starship.
Reese Jones asking what the chance is for a Starship launch tomorrow. 0. Easy question. Lonnie Sun, thanks for the new membership. And Daniel Langston, thanks for the new membership. Daniel came in at Capcom, and Lonnie came in at Capcom. 2 new Capcom members. Thank you, both of you, so much. Enjoy your Discord access. Michael, how long do you think it'll take them to modify the oil rigs for use? A year?
I
6
mean, it
months?
depends. One thing we don't know for sure is we don't know if it's going to be a launch pad, a landing pad, or both. We just know they're going to support Starship operations in some capacity.
Yep.
So if it's a landing pad, that would seem like you just take a bunch of stuff off, flatten the surface on top, and you're good to go. I mean, there's more to it than that, but generally speaking, it's more simple than building a launch pad where you need, a launch tower with umbilical connections, lots of ground support equipment. You need storage tanks for all the propellant and other consumables you need. So it's a lot more challenging to build a launch pad than it is to build a landing pad. So it depends on what the purpose is, but I mean, it does seem like they're going to need some significant modification. So I don't know if it's like 1 year or 2 years or 8 months. I'm not really sure. That's a great question, but
I
definitely a
like eight
big
months.
difference on the use case.
8 months to me sounds both plausible, but also fast, but also not like, completely out of the realm of possibility. So I like 8 months, but as a bit of like food for thought, if they were just for landing and not for launching, wouldn't they just call them like landing pads and not spaceports? Like the nomenclature Elon specifically used on Twitter was floating spaceport, which to me means launching and landing. Obviously, I'm like reading between the lines of a tweet here from Elon, which, you know, doesn't necessarily translate directly to reality, but in my head, they're for launching and landing. But
Yeah, I
yeah, we'll
think
just kind of have to wait and see.
there's 100% chance that SpaceX at least is planning. I mean, is or was planning to have fully fledged spaceports that support both launch and landing. I'm just not sure if the very first ones are going to be able to do both, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. Good call. And as much as I like to speculate wildly, it's good to temper our speculation with like healthy doses of reality, right? Because then,
Yeah.
if we're just completely making stuff up, that's not very interesting. But if there's sort of a educated guess nature to what we're thinking, then at least we can sort of have an idea of one way things might pan out.
Here's a wider angle shot of the launch site right now. You can clearly see that the fog is improving, and it looks like their methane recondenser is on. So they're continuing to reprocess. I guess they're continuing to detank the vehicle, and any methane that has burned off, they are recondensing it back into a liquid form. You can also see that large plume of nitrogen or liquid oxygen. I'm not sure which one, but definitely not methane that's venting from that large stack right now.
Careful what you say about methane.
It's probably liquid oxygen if I had to guess, but I think we saw that yesterday after they scrubbed the final attempt, so I'm not sure that's a great sign. I'm talking about that plume of gas on the far left-hand side of Mary's shot right now.
Well, now we just wait for road open or for testing to continue, one of the two.
Mary says there are methane trucks waiting at the road closure to go to the pad, so another sign they might be done for today. Although I'm sure they probably had that truck scheduled to arrive before they knew that they would be testing past 5 p.m., so perhaps not, but we'll keep watching that roadblock, and if it gets pulled down, we'll know that testing is done for sure.
Just waiting. Let's see what else we got here on the panel. Blue Sensei, I see your super chat. Thank you for the $5. The answer to your question is, I don't know. I don't even want to know. Andrew Johnson, thank you for the new membership. Thanks, buddy. Oh, Starship in chat asking, can we get a happy Peter Beck emoji? I assume they're asking for an emoji. Yes, we need a happy Peter Beck emoji. Bad. We really need to up our emoji game on here. I'm telling you, we got a bunch of free slots. I'll add that to my list. There was a time where I started making a list. Let's see. Go to my notes. There we go. Bam. Happy
also need-
Peter Beck.
We need more astronauts too. We need like Victor Glover and Shannon Walker. I guess Mike
Yes.
Hopkins would be good too. Soichi for sure. I think the entire crew needs an emoji.
Agree. I would love some Soichi emojis. I would tweet. Oh my god, I'm an old person. I would comment a Soichi heavy right now. Triple Soichi. If I could. Who has control over that? Is that you? Is that more work for me to make for you?
No, it takes like 30 seconds to upload them. If you want to make them, I will get you the specifications required. I forget what dimension it is, but it's a specific dimension.
Okay. Yeah, do that.
Cool.
I can't promise I'll do it, but I'll try to do it.
I could also ask Brady. I think Brady made our original emojis.
Brady is the Photoshop master. Speaking of, no, never mind. I'm gonna abort the thing I was just gonna say. Wind crab. Lee Ed asking if it's possible that there was modifications to Raptor resulting in the huge number of aborts. I don't think so. I mean, I feel like no two Raptors are exactly alike, but I don't think there's any specific modification that we can necessarily point to. Oh, Dougal, good point. We need a thanks Mary emoji. That's a good one.
And we need a... That's a great idea. I wonder what we should use for that. That's a good symbol. A sunset? Sunrise?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Maybe Starhopper.
That'd be a good one.
That's her Twitter profile picture, right?
I mean, Starhopper I don't want, I can't speak for Mary, but for me personally, of all the Starship tests I've seen, I don't think anything will ever top Starhopper's 150-meter hop in terms of just sheer craziness. Serial number 8, totally different league and totally more awesome in a variety of ways, but like personally, emotionally, historically, I mean, Starhopper's 150-meter hop is where it all started. So, good call.
Yeah, I mean, the further along they get, the more the prototypes are going to look like actual, fully fledged spacecraft and whatnot. So I think Starhopper is definitely about as crazy as it's going to look. Just in terms of...
Starhopper and serial number 5 and serial number 6. I mean, but 5 and 6 were vaguely rocket shaped, right? Starhopper was just insane.
Yeah.
Blue Sensei saying they gotta leave, but super chatting $15 and saying thanks for the fun and Invisible Starship. No worries, Blue Sensei. Thank you so much for all the support on this stream. You're killing it. Ashton Henderson, thank you for the $5. They say, do you think static fire could damage 7.2, the new test tank? I feel like sound and debris could damage it, especially with thinner tanks. Thanks, guys. I mean, potentially. It's not a bad thought. But something tells me they've considered that risk and are not too worried about it. Brennan asking if we think they would do a shorter static fire because they've already had so many, just to make sure the Raptors work, since they did a Raptor swap. I think they have a certain duration they're trying to hit, and I do not think they hit it. Sarah asking if they've updated the road closures. Michael, have they updated the road closures?
Nope. But...
Not looking great.
Yeah, if I had to guess, they are scrubbed at this point, but until the road opens, I can't say for sure. So, if you leave now and it ends up being a static fire, I am not liable. Don't send me mean tweets. I did say there was still a chance. I'm just saying if you had to bet either way, I would personally bet against it at this point.
Yeah, the roulette wheel is spinning and you have put your chips on black. Got it.
Yes.
Spiffy Billy asking if SLS will launch Starship or if Super Heavy will for the lunar Starship whole thing. No, it's not. You're never going to see a Starship on an SLS. That's insane. So yeah, Super Heavy will launch the lunar Starship. Think it will rendezvous with Gateway, right? Is that the current plan?
Yep.
If it gets selected.
Yeah. So the current plan is it would rendezvous with Gateway, but I think there's still some... the option is open for them to not rendezvous with Gateway and rendezvous directly with Orion. So 2 different options being explored, and we'll see which way it goes. But it will be... It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the upcoming HLS down selection. NASA is supposed to pick either 1 or 2 of the 3 current competitors in the HLS program, and the HLS program was badly underfunded in the most recent budget request. It got about $800 million when they were wanting $2.3 billion. So I'm not sure if that's going to play into whether or not they select 1 or 2 competitors, but it could also be that they still select 2 and just push past, and they delay the target past 2024 by a couple of years. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I'm still waiting to see if Starship actually gets selected for the final round of HLS, which will be the landers that are tasked with landing humans on the moon for the first time since the 1960s and early 1970s.
I can't wait. Do you think there's any chance, Michael, they would just say, forget it with SN9 and move on to SN10? I don't think so, but
I mean, what I would say is I'm not sure there's major design changes between SN9 and 10. Elon said that SN15 was the next major leap forward, so I'm not sure that SN10 is. I'm not sure there's any. I mean, of course, SpaceX would know for sure because they have all the data, but from what we can tell, I'm not sure that SN10 would have any improvements that make it more likely to succeed in SN9. So I think it might just make sense to keep working on SN9 and then apply those lessons learned into SN10, whether it be how they conduct the test countdowns, Raptor design, how they handle ignition at startup. It definitely seems like they're having trouble starting the Raptors on occasion, which is a bit. I mean, that can be a problem when your test flight requires a startup working in flight, because when they have a startup problem on the ground, they just abort the static fire or the launch and it's no big deal. But if the ignition does not work for the landing burn, they are in big trouble. So definitely want to, whatever the problems are, whether it's SN9 specific or Starship design in general, definitely something we'll have to continue working to improve reliability, because regardless of the landing burn, just these continuous delays, like I've been saying, every time they scrub, that's a day lost working on the orbital launch pad too. So not ideal to be taking this long for sure. Let's see some more questions. Is the thrust 3 yet? Unfortunately, the thrust is currently 0. Could the issues be GSC since first time using pad B? from what I understand, Pad B is almost identical to Pad A, so perhaps there could be some GSC differences, but I think it's more SN9 related if I had to guess. Especially since we saw the Raptors ignite and then have a problem, or at least we saw the Raptors attempt to ignite. But that to me points to some vehicle side issue. It seems like managing road closures is a major hurdle to making rapid progress. Would they have to do this if they bought out the entire village? The answer is yes. Even though the village exists, there's still a public beach that the road that goes past the launch site goes to. And I believe by Texas law, all beaches must be open to the public. So I don't think the village has any impact on something like today's test. They would still have to close the road no matter what, and I think the beach is the primary hurdle. Do you think SN9's fall in the high bay could have something that affected the behavior? I don't know for sure, but I think at this point it must be something else because they've tested it so many times. You would have thought they would have got any of. I think any hiccups related to the fall would most likely be out of its system right now, and I'm sure they thoroughly inspected it after the fall too. So I think at this point it's probably some problem they're just not aware of. It's probably a different problem each time. I don't know for sure, but it could be the type of thing where they fix one thing and then a car appears from the beach and scrubs the test because there was a range safety violation, or a Raptor has problems igniting. It seems like every time it's a different scenario. So I don't think it's necessarily the same thing tripping them up every time. It's just for a test to work successfully, you need 1,000 things to work correctly all at once, and they're kind of playing whack-a-mole right now with the issues, it seems like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Good question, Patrick, about what to expect with SN7.2's test campaign. I think it will be very similar to SN7, where they do a couple of proof tests to make sure it's sound construction, because you don't want to push it too hard until you know that it's built properly. But once they have verified that it is, I guess they could do the test to failure in the same test. They could proof it, have it maintain a certain pressure for an hour or so, and then press it even farther. So maybe we will only see one test. I'm not entirely sure, but at some point, we expect them to proof test it to failure, which is basically when they fill it all the way up with nitrogen, shut off the valves, and see how high the pressure can rise before it bursts. And SN7.2 is a 3mm steel Starship prototype versus the previous prototypes, which were approximately 4mm steel. So thinner steel on Starship SN7.2 test tank. Obviously not a full Starship, but that test tank you can see just to the bottom left of Starship SN9 is that test tank that we expect to be proof test to failure sometime in the next week or so. Perhaps that time frame could be pushed out slightly if SN9 is delayed, but you can see right now SN9 is depressing. We can see some venting there if you look closely through the fog, so hopefully the road will be reopening again shortly.
Well, hopefully tomorrow they're able to get a static fire under their belt.
And yes, Davi, there were some aborts of Starship SN8. There was one flight abort and I think a couple of static fire aborts, but just not to the same extent we're seeing with SN7. Excuse me, SN9. And they did swap a Raptor or two on SN8, so we have definitely seen problems before. It's just that SN9 seems to be having a particularly large amount of problems. Here's a good question. How many press-depress cycles can these prototypes undergo? And I'm guessing they're I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing they might be asking this problem because if you were following the SLS news, they originally said in a press conference that SLS could only handle 9 cryogenic cycles, which is when the tank is filled with cryogenic propellant and or nitrogen and taken to a really cold temperature. So most tanks can only do that a certain amount of time. And in SLS's case, they said in a press conference that SLS could only handle 9 cryogenic cycles, which is problematic because SLS has already gone through 3 and may have to go through a 4th when they do the potential redo of the hot fire test, which would limit the amount of potential launch opportunities they have. But NASA has since corrected themselves and said that they were planning for 9 for the pre-flight testing, and that would give them, and they actually had up to 23 total. So SLS does have plenty of cryogenic cycles in its capability, but I think for Starship, they're definitely going to be shooting for a lot more than 23, because Starship is designed to be a rapidly reusable launch vehicle that can perform 100 flights or more. So I think Starship is probably going to be rated for much higher. But as to how many the prototypes can handle, I'm not sure we've actually seen a number, but definitely a lot, because we've seen a lot of testing with SN9, saw a lot of testing with SN4 and SN5, 6, and 8. So I'm not sure the exact number, but definitely a lot. I don't think that's a constraint, but I could be wrong. If you're just joining us, I'm Michael Baylor with Jack on our commentary today. We did see a brief bit of fire from Starship SN9 earlier, as it seemed to abort a static fire test a bit early. Definitely not a full ignition sequence. It seemed like an early abort, kind of maybe partially into the ignition sequence. We definitely saw some pre-burner fire, and Mary said she heard, but sounded like a full combustion chamber firing, but it definitely seemed to be cut short. So we do expect them to have to redo the static fire once again. We're not sure if that's going to happen later tonight or sometime tomorrow, but if we do have to wrap up tonight, Mary will go home, and if Mary gets a new alert notice for tomorrow, she'll let us know, and that will be the indication that they are trying again tomorrow if needed. So we'll keep everyone up to date. Make sure you follow at Boca Chica Gal on Twitter. That is Mary's Twitter account, and she always posts updates when she has something to share, whether it be something she sees from bulkheads being flipped to new prototypes being spotted, to schedule changes with road closures and whatnot. So make sure you follow Mary on Twitter. Let's see. Still no road closures extended. So right now they're about an hour past the scheduled road closure, which ended at 5 p.m. And the fact that the road closure has not been extended yet kind of makes you think they might be done for today, but no official word yet.
Come on, road open.
Couple of more super chats. Drew saying, my grandson says you can break a hex by saying their name 3 times. SN9, SN9, SN9. We'll see if we get a static fire tomorrow, or perhaps later this evening. Vinny with a membership, thank you so much, Vinny. Let me check what level that was. That was Red Team, so welcome to the Red Team, Vinny. You will have early access to some video clips as a thank you for your support. And then Lim saying engineering whack-a-mole. I agree. Fix one problem and another problem shows up. What do you think, Jack? Should we keep going, or with the road closures not being extended, should we consider
I mean, we
wrapping
could
up?
always spool back up if something starts
Yeah.
to happen, right?
No rule against saying multiple live streams are not allowed, so. But at this point, it's definitely not looking good for another attempt today.
What, we have when hop shirts now?
We do? I didn't know about that.
Hang on, I'm sending you a link. Mark me when hop shirts. Oh my god. Alright, yeah, merch store plug. Hey everybody, if you want a when hop shirt, we have them in our store. Although I'm starting to think that we need a when static. We need a when static shirt. Oh, good stuff, Mark.
There's Hopper.
Lighting up.
Yeah, I think with the fog right now and the low chance for static fire, it probably makes sense to wrap up. So, want to say some final words, Jack?
No final words. Just thanks everybody for watching, putting up with the fog. Hopefully tomorrow we get a successful static fire under our belt. Oh, if you want to see my super awesome, crazily good, best ever in the world static fire footage ever that ever existed, ever, you can check out my Twitter. I'm the Jack Buyer on Twitter. I'll throw a link in chat. Because it's just the best static fire footage ever. Alright, and I swear I'm done with that horrible joke. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us. I am Michael Baylor at NASASpaceflight on Twitter. We also had Mary providing a camera view for us. And follow Mary at Twitter. Her handle is at Boca Chica. That is going to do it for us today. If there's another static fire attempt at some point, we will be live for it, of course. So make sure you have notifications turned on for live streams. And we've also got the Peter back. Oh, update. Mary says the road is open. So no testing today. It always happens every time.
Every time.
So in any event, no static fire today now confirmed. And we'll wrap up. And if there is an attempt tomorrow, we will go live. Remember, we also have a very special Peter Beck live stream on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 20:00 UTC. And there might be one more thing on top of that this week, in the next couple of days. So make sure you have notifications turned on because we have a lot of exciting live streams coming up on this channel. But until next time, see you all later. And hopefully we'll get that test flight for Jack happening in the next couple of days or so. But thank you all for tuning in.
We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
Alright, the chamber pressure looks good. Following up.
Concur. We don't need any more of these.